Welcome, everyone. July is our Mork Borg as the game of the month. And this time, as I mentioned, I will not be in the GM seat. We've got Moth with us here, and I'll throw the start playing in the live chat. They will be GMing this adventure for us. And I'll be running the PC I made in our player build video. So if you watch that, you know I've got 1 HP. So I'm really curious to see how long. I don't think I gave him a name in the PC build video, but how long Ardo could make it through. But with that, before I turn it over to, if you type Borg into the chat, it'll get you into the running for a free PDF copy to win a raffle for the free PDF copy of the rulebook. My Nightbot mod thing is being weird, so I may have to go through and put everybody's name in manually, but throw that Borg in there just so you know to pay attention to it. But yeah, with that, I'll turn it over to Doomer.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have our intrepid adventurers here that I will introduce in a second. Or rather, we can have you all introduce in a second. Here we go. Okay. So, east of Lake Onda, in the Slithering Swamp, is the Swamp Witch's ancient sepulcher, and an altar of dead roots covered in lost symbols. You have heard that it is said that forbidden words are chanted at this altar. Any wish is fulfilled. Even stopping the approaching doom is not outside the powers of the Swamp Witch's altar. You have stumbled onto these forbidden words on a murdered messenger wearing Mad King Fathamu the Seventh's crest in a ditch. You just need to get past the strange serpent drug cult layering in the ancient tomb and reach the altar. That's easy enough, right?
Child's play, really.
Of course. So I guess to start us off before we introduce our PCs here, why don't you both roll me a d6 and we'll see if perhaps you have come upon any other rumors about this location here.
I got a 3.
I got 6.
Okay, perfect. So for the 3, you have heard that chanting those forbidden words backwards raises the Swamp Witch from the dead. So take that as you will. On a 6, you have heard that entrants risk catching a psychic parasite. To prevent it from spreading, isn't it better to simply kill everyone and maybe also burn down the swamp? Yeah, it's the only way to be sure.
Gotta be thorough.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to swamp parasites and psychic, who knows what.
Swamps are well known for burning quite easily.
Oh, of course. Known for being dry. Okay, perfect. So, you all, we will sort of cut in here as you all have made your way through a large part of this swamp. Right now, you are standing, you are sort of in, I'd say, like this murky green water that is up to about your waist. And you are staring at a stone gate that is sort of set into the side of, this unnatural hill. Obviously, swamps aren't known for being particularly hilly places, so it stands out that this sort of landmass has arisen from the sort of murky depths here. So, Tegan, why don't you reintroduce, if you will, your PC?
Definitely. So you see Ardo kind of trudging through the swamp water, definitely making it look hard, or it's harder for him than it should be. You see this tall, very rail thin man. He's got like dark skin, but that's very pale dark skin, like he hasn't really been much in the sun. Hair kind of scraggly. Like you see every few minutes he kind of reaches his hand up and just a small cough. He definitely looks like he's barely holding himself together, but he's leading along his little donkey through this water, and still while struggling, persevering through. You see, he's got like this armor that looks like it probably was nice at one time, but now it's just beat up, scuffed, and worn. Same with his clothing and his shield and sword that he carries, which he carries like in a way that he carries like he's expected to carry it, but not really that he's practiced with it. But he kind of just awkwardly holding it as he trudges through. But he's got kind of like an aristocratic look, but just very beat down in his luck, and like he's fighting. It's not like fighting is some type of sickness.
Okay, perfect. Shai, you want to go?
Sure. My character is named Siddig, and Siddig has what you might refer to as resting maniac face, and while he tries to make friends, he giggles at the worst times possible, and not just but giggles insanely. So he wears the ragged fur armor. He has a short sword, and he's got a little hawk on his shoulder that follows him everywhere. He tried to name the hawk once, and every time he does, the hawk looks at him as disapprovingly, as though it doesn't care for that name, or that he's just wrong. Like that isn't his name, so he doesn't know what it's named.
Interesting. As you both approach with your animal companions, the unnameable hawk and the donkey, which honestly looks to be doing fine, all things considered.
Probably he's a simple guy. He just named his donkey.
Yeah, donkey. There you go. Yeah, so you sort of are trudging through the muck here. You see that stone gate, and you also see sort of almost as if it's floating into view, like coasting along the water. There is a large emerald serpent that sits on this floating leaf. And you see it is not making any, hostile movements or anything. It looks sort of like she has been expecting you.
Ardo kind of like leading his dog, he kind of and like seeing like the snake seeing us and not really reacting, kind of just leads slowly. And he kind of coughs and calls out, "Who may you be?"
You see as the serpent sort of gazes over her, head, sort of turning to face you, and those serpent eyes gazing on you. And she says, "I am the Emerald Serpent." She allows for the laugh to go on. What is it that you seek?
Well, we
I
seek
wish to
water.
not suffer in the future of what is this place.
The sepulcher, he says. Yes, the altar is within here, but there is a price to pay to open this door.
Could you be more specific?
She nods and says, well, you must be bitten by me, and the door will open for you.
Are you venomous? Is it friendly?
Aren't all snakes?
Well, I've got coin. I'm sure we could come to some other arrangement.
You certainly may try to open the gate yourselves. She sort of, she doesn't have arms to motion with, but she sort of like tilts her head in the direction. As you sort of even just get a little bit closer, you see the serpent is large, but it is certainly within the real world's sort of ability to produce a serpent this big. It's sort of like a boa constrictor-esque size, if you will. Yeah.
Will you let me pass if I try the door?
Yes. you may pass.
Basically, Arnold's considering it. He's very frail, man. He's worried if he gets bit, that may be the end of his life. So he slowly leads his donkey kind of around the serpent, kind of keeping a cautious gaze on her, and then kind of looks around the door and at the door just to see if he kind of notices anything out of place with it, or kind of see how hard of a push this may be.
Yeah, certainly. So, no need to even roll for anything like that. Certainly, this door, you figure between, maybe Ardo by himself would recognize that this is out of his ability to simply open. But, maybe with a couple of people or another person, he could try and lift this thing up. As far as around the immediate vicinity, though, there's just sort of these vines that make this sort of archway almost around the stone gate. The gate itself is, full stone. It is not no like slipping through this thing or anything like that. And yeah, no, push here to open the door. Sort of levers hanging around.
You there, Arvok? Give me a hand with pushing, unless you want to submit yourself to be bit. So we have to push through.
Oh, okay. And I command the hawk to help.
How does a hawk push?
It doesn't, but the image is fantastic. No, I'll push, and the hawk will just kind of like lean on my shoulder, like it's trying to apply its weight to my arms. It's not helpful, but it's trying. Gosh darn it, it's trying.
It is certainly trying. Yeah, that's really funny because with NPCs in the system, they typically will just roll like a straight d20 if they're needed to make any checks or anything like that. So your creature might very well have a better chance at opening this thing.
The hawk's the strongest one here.
I mean, who knows, right? Okay, but yeah, you all may certainly make me a couple of strength checks if you'd like.
My esoteric hermit rolls a d20 and subtracts a 1 from the total of 18.
Oh, that's pretty
Rolled
good.
15, got a 14.
Okay. Well, between the two of you, it will indeed be enough. And yeah, it is certainly a strain, though. Probably, especially Ardo, just like, this is like a slick stone surface that you're on too, so you're like pushing against it. You still got like water hanging around, maybe slipping a little bit, but eventually you hear that familiar sound of like stone on stone grinding as it gets sort of pushed enough that you can sort of slither on through. And you see as the serpent sort of watches as you do this.
He sees it. He is like coughing fit right now, but he does look over to the serpent as he finally regains his breath, and he goes, "Oh, thank you for telling us that there was another way through. Is there anything else or any other wisdom you can spare before we go in?"
The cultists are not ones to be trifled with. They would better be avoided than thought.
It's true, in this day and age, the cultists often outnumber us.
She says, additionally, I would show respect to those of my kind.
Whoa. Whoa. And he just stops there and starts giggling again.
Arno kind of looks uncomfortable for a second before adding, of course. If we see you again, maybe we'll have some other gift we can bring you.
Perhaps. But go now.
And Siddig looks at the snake woman and says, "You must have mistaken me, and this hawk's relationship. No, I am the servant of the hawk. I am simply here to assist. The hawk will tell you that we are simply trying to make our way. I don't even know the hawk's name. It won't let me know. I simply do my best as it requires. Perhaps it, and the hawk. I don't know if I have dominion over what the hawk does, but maybe it looks at her and just starts squawking a little bit.
You're welcome to have that dominion.
The hawk starts squawking, and as if to say, "Yes, I will take your boons. This lowly human means nothing to me. Fight it, I shall move on."
The snake's head just like sort of tilts back, like okay, but won't say anything else other than just wait for you to go in.
Ardo just kind of gives like an annoying shrug as he looking at the snake before leading his donkey further in through the stone gate.
All right. You continue through the stone gate here. There is a sort of a soft upward slope that leads into a moist cave with what can only be described as some crappy furniture and puddles of swamp water. It smells vaguely of algae, mold, and burnt bread. You can also see here that there are pathways. There's one leading to your left there, so west, and then one that's north.
Ardo kind of pokes, kind of like leans around, trying to see if he sees anything down either the quarters, but he'll look back to Ervog and say, "You or that hawk master of yours have any inclination of which way we should run?"
Siddig looks at the hawk quizzically. The hawk squawks back at him disapprovingly, and he says he does not suggest the door to the north. He suggests perhaps the west. He's not good with cardinal directions, though. He may not know what he's talking about.
And Ardo, as you're sort of looking over to the west, you can see that there looks to be sort of what you can assume are like sacks or maybe like mattresses that are laying on the ground. And over to like the north, it's hard to make out. It looks like some sort of messy room.
Well,
can I do a check to see if there's anything interesting in the room? Anything
in the room that you're currently in?
Yeah. I heard about burnt bread.
Yes,
furniture.
You did hear about burnt bread and furniture. Yeah, certainly. I would say probably a presence test would be your best bet for that.
Presence.
Looking over a little bit.
Christmas. I got an 8.
Okay. You look over sort of just the contents of this room. As I said, it is sort of just like crappy furniture, vaguely sort of assembled in what could be described like perhaps a common hall. But yeah, there are just sort of stools and there's the odd sort of table that's like thrown over or whatever. You don't find any bread or anything else that would be particularly interesting to you.
Well, so you said kind of the west. There's kind of like a hallway and like a messy room that we can see, right?
So to the west is that room that has like what looks to be like either sacks of something or like mattresses, essentially just like sort of off-white lumps that are stacked up and they're all over the floor. And then to the north is where you see essentially like a messy room. You see that there looks to be like blankets or towels or something on the floor. You're not sure.
Well, it seems like we should explore, Ervog. Do you want to see what are in those sacks first, or see if there's anything worthwhile in the mess to the north?
Yeah, I'd like to look at the sacks and inspect the sacks. Is there a snake in there that's gonna bite me? I'm giving the GM ideas. It's never a good idea.
Yes. Now there are tons of snakes. let me tell you.
Just pythons on pythons. Arda will follow Urvek, but a little bit of a distance back.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and are you charging in there, or what's your approach there?
I mean, I'll draw my sword, but I'm not going in. I'm not kicking the door down and announcing my presence. I'm not the police. I'm gonna go in quiet, like someone who doesn't belong there and doesn't want to get caught.
Sure.
Like a criminal.
Yeah, you sort of go down that hallway. It's not particularly long, but it is definitely sort of unlit. And you see that the sort of sacks on the ground, they are sacks, but they also have little pillows that are sort of thrown on one of the ends of them. And in fact, there are also a number of people here. There are 10 folks here in different stages of rest. As you sort of come in, even with your sword drawn, like maybe 2 people even look up to sort of to see you. The other ones either seem to be in some sort of like complete daze, or they're asleep, or God knows what else.
This is a dream. I am not really here. Don't wake up. The world is dark and full of terrors. You don't want to wake up. This is better. You're not hungry in the dream. Now, what can you tell me about this dream?
You can roll me a presence, and while you're doing that, I will say that one of the 2 folks, they both look like I'd say men in maybe their mid-20s or something. They have sort of long, unwashed hair, and
Hot.
their clothing is just, it is sort of just barely keeping on them.
Hot.
You notice, as you say hot and stuff, yeah, I mean, hold on here. As you say hot and stuff, you notice that it really looks like these aren't like sort of like Ardo's clothes, which are, like they've been worn down and stuff. These look like they've sort of been torn, if I had to say.
They've been in a fight, or they've been...
What'd you get on your...
like convincing them they're in a dream? Could Ardo like just kind of like see if there's like, especially with some of the people that aren't moving, like it's like their clothes are torn. Can you see like there's like any wounds on them, or like any like kind of signs they've been in a struggle?
Yeah, sure. Let me see. I think that would also probably be a presence test there. And Zadig, what did you get on yours to try and...
18. 18
nice.
on my presence-filled deception.
So one of the dudes, sort of, who's one of the 2 that have like acknowledged your presence, looks over to you and says, "I think you're just having a bad trip, man. You've been going hard on the venom, right?"
And I start laughing. Instead of actually giving a response, I just start doing my manic, inappropriate laughter. Like,
the other one says, "Yeah, man, you can't go too hard on it, but it opens all sorts of doorways, I was just having a dream the other night. I was just, floating above. There were these crazy serpent creatures just like floating in the stars. It was totally wild." And the original one that you posed the question to says, "But yeah, man, I mean, what do you want to know?"
So this venom, it opens doors, you say?
Oh yeah, sure. We call it the emerald venom.
Emerald venom. And I
You
look
can
back
come
at
up-
my partner to see if they want to reveal themselves or hide behind me. I try not to be too obvious about it, but I definitely look back.
Oh, yeah, he's in the doorway. He's lurking, but
Yeah.
he's definitely watching, and he kind of like pokes his head in as they speak of the Emerald Serpent. He goes, "Did you get it from the one outside, or where do you get this venom that you consume?"
Yeah, man, Emerald Serpent right outside. She's pretty chill. But you know, it opens all sorts of pathways. You know, the other day I was looking at puddles. They were shimmering like the tears of an orphan child. You know.
And you've all used this venom. Would you have any to spare that we could examine?
Nah, she puts it straight into the tap. You know what I'm saying? Whew.
Can I do a deception check on these guys or anything like that?
I mean, I'll let your presence test roll. Presence is generally your sort of mindfulness, your force of personality, your mind skills. You know.
Okay. So I guess are they being? I mean, they're screwed up. Are they being honest with us, or are they
Yeah.
just trying? Are they trying to trick us into getting? Are they trying to trick us into dying? I guess I'm wondering if they're in cahoots with this snake lady.
It seems pretty clear that they are in no position to be deceiving anyone. I should say. They're very clearly just like, you know, messed up on this emerald venom, and they are not deceiving you in any way that's detectable to you. Ardo, what did you end up rolling for your check there?
Bad. I got an 8.
Okay, yeah, then it's just hard to tell. I would say certainly, like probably most people, they have some superficial wounds, but you know, anything else you'd probably have to start peeling off clothes here to see.
Yes. So you use the emerald venom. She mentioned that there are other serpents, others of her ilk. Have you ever tried their venom, or do you know anything about them?
No, man, we don't mess with those other serpents. Okay. I'm sure there's some lurking around or whatever, but you should just get it right from the Emerald Serpent, right?
That's fair. Because I know that would open that door that we came through. Were there other doors that her venom would find the key to?
Oh yeah. Well, they're not like the front door. It's more like you gotta see things in a certain way. You know, the emerald venom, it helps that, man. It helps facilitate it, you know?
Oh, maybe we should have gotten bit, or at least one of us should have gotten bit.
Well, I do think it might not be a terrible decision for us to go back there, and I could I will take a bite, and provided I live, you can examine. You can watch me to see what the effects are, and then perhaps with one of us blessed with the snake juice of wisdom, and the other with their cognitive abilities, we can deduce how to proceed and find sanctuary.
Yeah,
Salvation.
man. Whatever you say.
Oh, that's yes.
They're both staring
perhaps
at you.
Yes. This has been a wonderful dream. You've been marvelous hosts. I enjoy very much so in being a part of your dream, and I wish to come back again someday. But for now, I believe I shall go and enjoy this snake juice.
All right, man. Yeah, you go crazy for it, but not too crazy.
What the dosage would you suggest? I find with my other medicinals are usually a 5 milligram, and I get where I want. But perhaps I don't. What dosage would you suggest for a beginner of the snake juice, my good host?
I'd say don't do it once, then maybe once a week.
Once a week.
Yep.
Well, I suppose that this is a rather conservative area. Okay. All right, once a week, and we'll try it. We'll try it once a week.
Yeah, she'll get you hooked up with the right dose. Don't worry.
Well, thank you. Before we leave, is there anything else that we should be aware of out there? I mean, we always want them to have a good trip.
No, I don't think so, man. Just, stay happy, love one another, free love,
Is the paranoia bad?
From the emerald venom?
Yes.
No, man. It doesn't get you paranoid.
Right. Well, very
It's like
good.
everything's beautiful,
All right. Well, I'm going to go have a drink. and I head back, and I think I'll start heading back to the snake lady.
Okay.
Ardo will follow, and as soon as he's out of earshot, he just kind of grumbles. It's a wonder they're still alive.
Yeah, Ardo, as you've been sort of lurking around and peeping in and stuff, you are certain that at least a couple of the people in there are either very dead or close to it.
Well, I think there's a decent chance there's a somewhat symbiotic relationship or parasitic relationship between this snake woman and her captives. She's most likely surviving off their blood, but also keeping them sedate with this juice. They're too screwed up to even realize if any of their friends are dead or not.
That's a good theory. She's either eating
Yes,
the
it is.
blood, or she could be eating them once they finally back to it. I'll make sure you don't get eaten, and if it does get to be too much, I do have some medicinal skill. I'd be happy to see what I can do to assist you, but I think this will open doors, as they say, and everybody loves a good, willing subject. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And I look to my shoulder and I say, and Gilbert here will help me. No, not Gilbert. We'll try again some other time. My friend here will help guide me where we will help guide me to where we should be going. He'll keep me from walking into any abysses. Or she. I really am very bad with animal anatomy. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. All right, well, yeah, go for it.
Oh no! So we're gonna walk back out to the Emerald Serpent and see if she's still kind of hanging around.
Oh yeah, she's on her little floating leaf, just hanging out. Yeah, and she sort of turns to face you as you sort of walk out. And she says, "Oh, going so soon?"
No, I thought I'd take you up on your offer of a good bite of venom.
Well, certainly it is not too late. Would you extend one of your arms?
I do want to ask, will it leave a numb sensation on the arm? I'm a righty, so I want to keep my righty working,
No.
No, okay. Well, just to be safe, I think I'm going to offer you the left. The circulation's not as good, but it is there.
Mm-hmm.
And he extends his left arm and begins giggling again.
Okay. Yeah, and she oddly, sort of daintily, I would say, extends her body and sort of chomps down on the arm. And it is honestly a little painful. Nothing too bad, but it feels like getting.
Do we need to go over the death and dying rules?
Not yet.
1 HP.
No.
So I don't have very far to go.
Thankfully, this is sort of like getting a shot and less of getting stabbed. She's not ripping and tearing as much as she is injecting you with the venom, and nothing happens as she sort of releases.
About how long does this take to kick in? As I try and bandage my arm up with. Do I have anything? I wonder if I've got anything on my character sheet.
I'd say it's easy enough to say that you probably have some scraps of cloth or whatever.
I mean, with all those sacks, I could have grabbed a piece, or maybe I'll
Very
just hold it until we get back, and then I'll tear off something off one of those sacks.
And as you ask that, she sort of like opens her mouth, and then you are suddenly sort of like transported into it. There's like a kaleidoscope of colors, and then you're just sort of back where you were, but everything is chromatic. Everything is like ethereal and spectral, kaleidoscopic even.
Ardo, it's incredible. I've seen the end times and come back. I know everything. It's as if the meaning of life is just at the tip of my tongue. I'm so close. Hit me, baby, one more time.
Did you guys open her?
Good enough for now. We do have other things to do, but we thank you, Emerald Serpent.
Of course.
The hawk was probably grabbing me by my hair and slowly tugging me
Yeah.
away.
The serpent was very much ready. She's like, okay. Going again? Yeah, all right.
So how do you feel? Do you feel the other ones were speaking about all this peace and love? Do you still feel yourself, or do you feel
Unmatched wisdom. It's hard to describe to such an insignificant mind. But I've gone to places that you just couldn't quite describe. I'm sure this incredible juice, this nectar, has done something that could only be combined with my own raw, incredible intellect.
The description for this effect says, quote, "Nature sings just for you. There is beauty in the world. Certain truths become clear to you." So that is certainly along the lines of what you're experiencing right now.
Well, Avak, I mean, they said this will let you see things that are not typically seen, and open doors. So, lead the way, my friend. If it does get too much, let me know, and I can see what we can do to treat you. But you seem to be enjoying yourself.
Yes. I think for experimental purposes, I shall stay on this higher plane, while you traverse this harrowing hellscape. Let's see. And I suppose it would be a presence roll to see if there's anything. I mean, obviously the world looks different, but like, do I see any paths that were not there before, other than the gateway that is her gaping maw?
No presence required. There's nothing out here other than just the trees and the foliage just looking 1,000 times more beautiful and 1,000 times less scary and terrible.
At the moment, I don't see any new paths, but I think we should go back to where those others were. At least to start. She said that you'd have to go through the door and could only go through it after you were exposed to her venom. So I think that's where we should start.
Oh, well, lead the way.
As you sort of turn back to face the stone gate, you see that it sort of is slowly like rising for you, rather than sort of being like shunted open like you had before. So there you go.
Okay. I will pass through that room into the messy room and see if I can find some scraps of cloth to wrap around my...
Oh, you want to go to the messy room?
Yeah,
that's
messy
the
room
one
or the
in the
bedroom.
northern world. No.
And actually, before that, I'll just describe for you. So as you cross through the entrance and stuff, Sigdig, you see that, or Sigdig, right? You see new things in the sort of common hall, right? There are these sort of sparks that flow out of these puddles of swamp water, and there are new green leaves that seem to be growing from the rock ceiling. And to the east, you see that there is a shining pathway.
I will gesture to the east and say, there is a path. Do you see a pathway to the east in which I am gesturing?
No.
What does Ardo see when he looks to the east?
It just looks like rock wall.
Well, technically no, but try walking it.
You know, it's Ardo, it's interesting. It's as if right now I can see the world as it could be, or as it should be, as opposed to what is. It's a magical experience. And I'm walking towards that wall, but I want to have my left arm, because that's not my good one, outstretched as far as I can, so that if I'm to like stumble into a wall, my arm connects with it first, as opposed to me going face first into the wall.
Yeah, there is no wall for you to stumble into. Your arm passes. Well, for you, it just looks like you're continuing down this sort of shining pathway. For your friend there, Ardo, it looks like your arm is just clipping right through the wall.
He starts coughing and like, what? I'll be. Don't go too far. And Ardo tries to kind of hustle and goes quick, and and he holds his arm out too to see if he'll let him through or if it's he's gonna be blocked.
Yeah, lets you right through.
Well, already opening doors. Good job, Avak.
Yes, I am very indispensable.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna describe the next room, but if you had something else, please, yeah.
I was just gonna keep going, so please do.
You keep going. Yeah. So you come into another chamber here. This is clearly sort of like a bedroom, right? Less of the sort of cluttered mess of sleeping bags, and more of like there's like sort of a large mattress. There are some clothes sort of strewn around, a couple of chairs hanging about, stuff like that. Ardo, you see that there are sort of dried bodies of alligators that are hanging from the ceiling, and there are drawings of snakes made from what is clearly a number of bodily fluids on the wall. So that's fun. And there are also just like all these dirty rags all about. For Sedig, you see that, but you also see that there are 3 large snakes that are slithering upside down on the ceiling. They sort of look at you and then go back to their slithering business.
Always a smell wherever we go. Outside of the mess, what do you see out here, Avak?
It's quite beautiful, actually. There are some wonderful little creatures here minding their own business. They're the scaly, legless type, if you catch my meaning.
Well, yes. Remember what the others have said. And you kind of see Ardo looking frantically, trying to hopefully he can see them as well. A bit more of a believer now he went through the door that shouldn't exist. Are they going in a particular way, or are they looking at us, or what's happening with them?
Yeah, so they're really just doing sort of laps that you can see there, and you can relay that as you wish.
I absolutely, I would probably just, for the sake of communication, I'll just say that I am out loud describing what I see in front of me, so that Aldo understands as well what I'm seeing and can be like, okay, so what I see is horrifying, and that's gonna eat you. I'm listening back too to see if I'm, stepping into an alligator's maw.
Certainly. And additionally, to the north of this room, you see that there is another pathway. And Ardo, you can see this one as well. And sort of turning around, you can see the other one as well. So it just seems like at the point where it's sort of the wall would be is where that magic or whatever it is occurs. But yeah.
Does he notice anything weird with the alligator corpses or anything along that side, or weirder than just alligator corpses?
Fair. I'd say just on a first glance, you don't see anything. If you want to sort of give the room a shakedown, you are certainly welcome to. If you want to inspect the alligators, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, like the alligators, are they being strung up to make like some kind of dried jerky or something, or they just happen to exist there because they were?
They sort of more, to use an example from the real world. If you've ever seen, like a teen's bedroom where they'll hang up like model planes or something, that's what it looks like.
Oh. So much creepier and less practical than what I had in mind.
Exactly.
I appreciate the clarification. Thank you.
He'll kind of do a quick walkthrough of the room. He'll kind of keep an eye on Arvok just to see kind of where the snakes doing laps are, and hopefully trusting Arvok to steer him away from those. But he'll kind of look around the room outside of that.
Sure. Yeah, you look around. A lot of this room is just sort of, honestly, filth. But you see that there's sort of this pile of very used clothing. However, from the pile, there looks to be almost like a little piece of paper, you'd say. Are you getting in there?
Like very gingerly. He definitely is like holding one hand like over his nose. He reaches to grab it.
Roll me an agility.
That's the one thing he's good at.
There you go.
Oh, no.
Not a fortitude save.
Okay, you sort of you're like going for it. You give it a little tug, and it gets like caught, and you're like, okay. And as you sort of like reach up a little bit more on what seems to be like a scroll or something, you just see like these used underwear just fall like right on your hand, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
But you're able to withdraw the actual scroll there.
He's like holding it very far away from him. Like, his arm as well. Disgusted look on his face, but he will try to read that note.
Yeah, sure. So this is in Mork Borg. You have scrolls, right, which is what you use to cast magic. And there are the details of that specific scroll. That is Slithering Strangulation.
Slithering Strangulation. Am I about to die?
My friend, this is. Oh, and I would recognize it as magic too, right?
Yeah, certainly.
Well, we found a bit of magic, very, unnervingly fitting magic with the slithering and strangulation. But it could be useful. But I unless you see something else here with your trip, shall we say, I'd rather get away from these snakes.
Yes, I suppose there are no further pathways to look. We may as best return.
Yeah, there's just the one north, and then you can obviously track back as well.
Yeah, Ardo, unless Arvok wants to head back, he'd head north.
Okay. Off we go.
North it is. Yeah, so coming into this next room, you notice it is the same room that you had seen from that common hall, right? So the one with like the stained blankets on the floor and stuff like that. And from this angle, you can actually see that there is there are more items in here. You see that there are these 3 large metal cages, and in them you see that there are 5 starving prisoners that as you sort of emerge through the wall there, they're like horrified and like huddling together. And yeah, and then again, sort of in the majority of this room is just like these stained blankets that are just laid off all around the floor here.
And with these people, so they're kind of shrieking away from us. Are they kind of like tattered clothing similar to the ones that are like getting high in the other room, or do they look different on the clothing?
for most of these folks, their clothing is definitely in a better condition. It is not excellent, but it is better. And it does not bear that that sort of like ripping that you saw before, right? Maybe it's a little bit worn or whatever, but nothing like that.
I am choosing to believe that what Siddig sees are like go-go dancers inside a cage, and so he's looking into his little bag of silver and asking himself, how many coins should I throw at them? But he isn't doing anything yet. Be like, I could go for a show.
And also, Siddig, you see that there is a pathway to the west there, and this pathway sort of is like a portal of green vines, and a crevasse behind a flutter of butterflies is sort of what the one that you just emerged out of looks like. And yeah, there are just the folks in the cages and these blankets.
Shoot, let's go past the butterfly. I mean, unless you want to talk to these people.
Oh, well, of course, we've got to talk to them. He looks over at the people and he kind of holds up a hand. He reaches into the pack on his donkey and he brings out one of his rations. But he holds it up away from them, away from the cages, I should say. And he goes, I have questions. How did you get in this cage? If you answer to my liking, I'll share my food with you, and maybe free you as well.
Yeah, you see as there's like this mixture of emotion on their face. They're clearly very hungry, but at the same time, they are apprehensive. And you see as one of them, who is like a young man, gets like pushed forward, and he says, "Yes, what can I do for you?"
Good. First, how did you wind up in the cage? Were you using this venom as well, or what happened?
You mean to tell me these people aren't in here of their own free will? I thought they were performers.
No, we are definitely not performers. I was a traveler, just making my way to the town of my parents. But 3 others are villagers from some nearby unnamed village, and another one was a wagon driver.
So how did they kidnap you and why?
I don't know why. I just know that every so often they will. Let me see if it specifies. Yes. Once every 3 days, they take one of us and they walk into that wall over there. And he points at the portal with vines and stuff. That's to the west there. But they took us just by overwhelming us with numbers. At least that was my case. They probably about 4 or 5 of them, with these sort of daggers, rushed out at me.
Daggers? They're not snakes? What took you?
They were people. The
cult.
Yes, the cultists.
And I think this may be one of my last questions, but have you seen the cult interact with the people that are high on the venom?
They are one and the same. They, when they are not on the venom or whatever, they are here, or doing whatever they do with the people they take. But there are usually these, I guess, more adept cultists that stand guard with us. But they left some time ago.
When was the last time they took one of you?
About 3 days ago.
And I think by now I would probably think that's enough to start letting them out of the cage so we can have a slightly friendlier conversation.
Okay.
Alro, are we in agreement that we can let them out of the cage?
He kind of shrugs, but he doesn't stop you. He doesn't.
Fair.
My goodness, I did not know those other pit folk on the juice were so violent. They did not give point off that image. But I am glad I was able to use such a clever ruse to tell them that we were all in a shared dream.
As you sort of say that, you see as two of the cultists sort of emerge from one of the I guess it would be southwesternly passage there, and they emerge and sort of look at you and say, "Hey, what are you doing, bro? Sacrifices need to be in there."
And as I'm letting one out, I go, no, please. Wait, no, that's not gonna work. That's just me being stupid. Say, no. The sacrifices aren't going anywhere. What we're doing right now, this is something that they're doing in the more uppity districts. We're going to have free range sacrifices. Yes, you find that if they're free, if they wander around, they get some fresh air, they're able to eat grass, they're a much healthier meal, and they're a much more serving sacrifice later. Look at them, they're far too terrified to run. They won't run. They're just going to be a better sacrifice now. That's all we're doing. This can't be the first time someone's approached you with this idea. It's quite modern.
You see as one of them takes out a club and the other one takes out a rusty-looking knife.
Hardo looks at the recently freed prisoners and he goes, "We freed you. You either die here or you help."
Okay. Yeah, you see as a couple of them just look like too weak to do anything, but the young man that you spoke to will step up here and get ready to try and punch these guys, I guess. And yeah, we'll roll into initiative here. So in this case, Mork Borg lets you either roll individually, or you may sort of roll as a group, right? So for rolling as a group, which is what we're going to do here, we just roll a d6 on a yes, on a 1 to a 3, enemies are first up. On a 4 to a 6, you all are. So I'm going to roll a d6 and we'll see how it goes. And I got a 6, so you will begin here. And yeah, you may go in any order you wish here. So if anyone has an idea, you may jump in. Though I assume that you will just try and get him with weapons.
Yeah, I don't have a good plan here. I tried diplomacy a moment ago. That didn't go well. So
it's too far gone.
So I think just a quick slash of my sword, my short sword. And
hold on 1 second. Depending on how many uses of it, I may bust this out. How many uses of the scroll do we get? I forgot. Do we have to roll something to the start of the scroll to figure out how many uses? Or is that how it goes? Or?
So you have presence plus a d4 of how many powers that you can use, and powers are what are inscribed on the scroll there. Yeah, let me double check. Yeah, so you have that scroll. You can do it.
I rolled a 3, but I've got a -1 in presence, so I've got 2.
You got 2 uses. That's better than none.
Unless you really want to try, I may try to use the Slithering Serpent. I know both of us don't really have much HP, so this may hopefully save us from getting hurt too bad.
I'm just gonna play my hawk after
Oh,
after my character dies. That's my plan.
well, he's already the
Good
master
name
of that
flips off.
situation. He's already.
Mhm.
Oh, sweet. Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna give that a try. So it's presence for magic, right?
Yes. Let me grab that too. Yeah. So when reading a scroll, you test presence, and if you succeed, you will subtract 1 from your daily total of uses here.
All right, I'm gonna give it a go.
Okay.
Ah, 4. Three.
Okay. Well, I will offer. I'll offer this to you. So you should have a number of omens as well. I see that Zedig started with 4, which is pretty nice. But I suppose, depends on your sheet here. I can bring it up. Omens. Ooh, where's it gonna come? There we go. Ardo. He's taking his sweet time here. Oh, it doesn't say your omens
I
here.
think I forgot to put my omens on there.
You're good. Let me remind myself of what. Yes, if you want to roll a d4, that will determine your omens here because you're classless.
3.
Okay, so you have 3 omens that you could potentially use today. And omens, you can like re-roll a die. You can neutralize a crit or a fumble. There are a bunch of different things that you can do there.
I'm gonna bust it out. I feel like this would be a cool one if I could use it for. So I'm gonna use one of my omens and hopefully roll higher than what I have to do. A 13.
Okay, 13.
11. Well, a 10. Rolled 11. It's a 10. So.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you needed a 12 to be able to cast that one. Let me grab this up. So unless you want to burn another one, you're gonna fizzle here.
You can let that one stand. You see him kind of like coughing and trying to like read out this commanding voice, the spell, and it goes terribly.
Okay. And as a result of that, so obviously the power doesn't work. You will. Oh boy. Okay. You will be taking 1 damage as a result of that.
Oh,
Yeah. It is. It's unfortunate. But you have a light armor, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot that would work for this too. Sweet. Oh, so that should absorb it, right?
It should just absorb it. Yeah. Because of 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you go and you start reading off this scroll, and you see as these like rainbow serpents begin to appear, and then they pounce on you essentially, rather than what you might have wanted them to do, and obviously they just like disappear off of you, but you're dizzy, you're a little bit shaken, so yeah.
He's stumbling, like trying to bash with his shield right now, even though they've long gone. And he goes, "That's why I don't trust magic."
All right, Zedig, you wanna do your thing?
yeah. So how does it work with my animal companions? Do we both get a turn, or is it like on my turn I let my animal companion do a thing?
Let me double check here. You are essentially, the hawk is another entity, so will act, with you, but not like you can attack and then also be like, hawk, attack,
Okay.
So.
Okay, so I would run up to the first one with my short sword drawn and hack into them and say, "You're asleep! You're asleep! You're asleep!"
Excellent.
Now, how does that? Do I do a damage roll or an attack roll?
So you roll a strength when you're using a melee weapon.
Okay.
Which I know is not necessarily your best.
No, I don't. But I'm not good at anything, so I'm just a little bit bad at that. That's a 9.
Okay.
Now, given that they're not wearing armor of any kind, I can't imagine there'd be any reason why a blind swing would miss.
So typically, just to give you a little bit more of a ability to guess here, typically you're looking at 12s on how to hit and to hit your opponents and stuff. So a 9 won't do it. But again, you may use one of your 4 omens if you would like to.
I think I will. I think I will use my omen because I don't want to die yet, and I certainly don't want to die having omens left. So that's a D4 I roll.
So for an omen, you actually already rolled it when you created your character, so you have 4 of them. So you can just re-roll your strength and go for it.
Oh, okay. So it's like rolling with advantage. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Except you can do it
worse.
after.
That's a 5.
God.
That's a 19. Okay, I just spent 2 omens to hit.
Okay. Yes, perfect. So a 19 will certainly hit, and then for a short sword, I believe it's a D4.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, for damage.
That is a 1.
Hey, there you go. And I posted as well for any future omen questions. There's the list of things you can do. You can deal max damage with 1 attack, reroll a die, roll yours or someone else's, lower the damage dealt to you by a d6, neutralize a crit or a fumble, or lower 1 test DR by -4. So, yeah, I mean, as you sort of blindly swing at this guy, you do get a little bit lucky, and you will at least land a blow on him. So there you go.
And I have to imagine that he dies, right? The norm in this world is that everyone has 1 HP, unless you're a hawk and you have 8. That's I mean,
well,
Alro has 1 HP. I have 1 HP. That's just how it works.
Yeah, you would anticipate that, but apparently not. So is your hawk attacking the one that you are going after, or
yes.
the other one?
If it's not dead yet, yes.
Okay, it is very much not dead yet. No.
Well, let's fix that. Okay, what's my hawk's modifier if it has one?
No mod. It's just
No modifier.
So
Okay.
what fancy we do, but it's just flat.
Yes. So
Okay. So that's
yeah.
1 more omen to roll.
well, I will also say that its attacks and defenses are at a DR 10, which means it only has to roll a 10.
Yeah, that didn't hit.
Okay.
So I guess I will use an omen.
Mhm.
Nope. Final omen.
You're burning all your omens.
17.
You're burning all of them.
I don't want to die, man.
It's fair. Okay.
I want to
then
live.
A 17 will hit, and then it's a D4 for that damage as well.
It is a D4 for that damage. Come on. 1.
Okay. You
Now he's dead twice.
now he is dead once, and he sees the hawk swoops down and just claws this dude's eyes out. It's pretty rough.
I don't know if I can do this, but I have one last stupid.
Yeah.
I am going to begin screaming, "Under the sacrifice for the pile, for the great snake mother!"
All right. Perfect.
And I'm hoping that deception check does something. I don't expect it will.
No, they are just the last one is just looking at you. His buddy's blood is like all up on him. He's ready to get you, but not before this mysterious stranger that you've helped free. He grabs a rock from the cave ground and just like caveman style is just gonna try and go for it. He's younger, but he's definitely probably like a farmhand or something because he's a little built. And he rolls a 17. And he rolls a 4. So you see as this guy just like takes this rock and just one fail swoop, sends this dude's head just right to the ground. and it just everything quiets out as you've survived your first combat encounter by just a hair.
Impressive. Do you see as this is impressive, he reaches into his pack and brings out back that ration and hands it right to the
Yeah, he just sort of nods in appreciation and begins gnawing on it. Lord.
I'd like to take a weapon from one of these guys and hand it to this guy.
Okay.
Say you're quite formidable with a rock, but should you choose another, this may be a better weapon.
He sort of nods in appreciation, and he takes, one of the dude's clubs or whatever. He says, I very much appreciate your all's help, and the food.
Well, we appreciate yours. I'm sure we can't convince you to go further with us, but will you be able to make it on your, or help these others make it on their own?
Certainly, yeah. We'll
Careful. I believe the snake worshipping cult. If you try and go back the way you came, that venomous lady may tempt you into coming back. I think it may, in fact, be safer to come with us and cleanse this place.
Do you want to roll a presence to try and convince him?
Yes, I do. Rolling dice is fun. 4.
He says, "No, I gotta get going."
Won't even think about it. Okay.
No, I mean, yeah, I really appreciate it, but I got.
You say that now, but wait until after you've had some snake juice. It really will transport you to another world. Okay, I already made my roll.
Yeah, he sort of gives Ardo a friendly wave and then just walks out.
Well, you were right to set them free, I guess. That worked out well for us. But it seems
I don't know about setting them free. I really was going for free-range sacrifices. But it's just a higher quality, better sacrifice. So, if you have the choice between free-range sacrifices and the ones kept in cages, it's really a no-brainer. It's much better to go with the free-range sacrifices.
Well, I'm sure you can tell the leader of the cult. If we press on, I'm sure we'll come across them.
What? I hope they are receptive.
I mean, well,
I did
we're
have
likely to be the next sacrifice, so I hope they're receptive too.
I did have an idea, though. In that room we were just in with the snakes, do you think the snakes had anything interesting to say? Because I have a scroll of speak with animals. Perhaps we should speak with those snakes. Perhaps they have useful intel.
And then, as a reminder, in this room, there's another secret passage, and then back to the common hall.
I sense a railroading in progress. Let's just take the other passage.
No, not at all.
If you'd like to speak with the snakes, I'm not sure who to believe. The cults did say that the snakes were unfriendly, but the cults also unfriendly if they're not high. So one hand, one of the other. So I'll leave it up to you.
All right, let's go down this passageway. Am I still tripping?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure of that. Great.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Okay. You will continue on. Let me double check the description here. Okay. Wow. You sort of go through that little passageway there. And as you do, you see as it sort of slopes up, and eventually at the end of this little tunnel here, you are essentially going to have to pull yourself up and out of this hole, sort of the situation. So, you do that, whatever. And Dig, as you sort of turn back around, you see that you've just climbed out of a giant snake's head. with a vertical mouth that sort of is hanging out, sitting in this in sort of the wall there.
There certainly is a theme here, isn't there?
Really?
And again, I'm communicating all of this in the event that I see something that, Alwyn does.
Certainly, and of course, for you, Ardo, it just looks like a
Ardo.
hole. You're good. You're good. And yeah, looking around in this room, so as you sort of like come out of the hole here, you see that there is another hole that is in the middle of this room. Right, it is larger. You hear what is certainly the sort of slithering and hissing of snakes coming from that hole there. Additionally, you see that there is, or I should say, Sita, you see that there is another one of those like snake mouths that is in the northern wall there.
I see a snake mouth in the northern wall. Do you see that too, Aldo?
It is just a wall.
Well, just a wall, but I do trust you now with all of this. So, do you see anything else running around, or should we press on through?
Aside from the theme of everything being a snake here, and this is all kind of one big snake tunnel, and we just left the snake mouth, and aside from that, I think we should press on through this passageway.
As you're speaking there, you see as another cultist, though this one notably, how should I say this, more official looking, perhaps, sort of comes into the room. It sort of notices you all, but doesn't immediately pay you any mind, and begins to sort of throw in what looks to be sort of just like entrails into the snake pit in the middle of the room here.
Do you see that too, Aldo, or am I losing my mind?
You see Arno kind of nods as well. He goes, yes.
Yes.
You'll kind of start walking just very casually over towards the door that Siddiq makes mentioned. But with that, he'll kind of look in the pit too. Like, I know there's a snake pit in there, and seeing them feed the entrails, kind of to see if they're like, if probably just snakes eating. But he's kind of curious to kind of what it looks like.
Yeah. So you sort of look down there. Sure enough, there's just a whole bunch of snakes in the pit. And you see that the snakes are just sort of slithering over each other. However, as you're looking down there, Ardo, you see that there are probably at least a dozen human skeletons in sort of different, varying conditions, I should say. You also see that there is some sort of odd protrusion in the pit's wall that sort of looks like some sort of stone block, I'd say.
And as we're kind of like walking through, like, does the kind of more official cultist, does he seem like he's just kind of going about his business still?
Yeah, he's just going about his business. I would say, as you sort of are looking down in the pit, he says, yeah, just keeping these guys' appetite up for the sacrifice tonight. It's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, of course. It's been far too long since the last sacrifice.
Yeah, what has it been, like 3 days?
I know we should be able to do them one every day, but...
Hourly, even, really.
We need a lot of cultists for that, let me tell you.
Well, I imagine they don't have to be cultists. We can find lots of people out there. Why the end's not come yet? I'm sure we can go and raid a village of some children and women.
See, those are the easy ones, but you need more of them.
Yes. It's always a thing there.
Yep.
Have you considered perhaps quality over quantity?
What do you mean?
Well, there are some cults, some very modern cults these days, that are attempting to have what they would call free-range sacrifices.
Oh my gosh, this again. Wouldn't they just run away?
No, they're far too terrified. You can always, take their legs. You just want to give them the opportunity to crawl about the space, get fresh air, eat the grass outside.
I mean, I guess if you want, you can bring it up with Uth, but
Uth, yes, I've been meaning to speak with Uth about these radical ideas of mine.
Yeah.
Is he at the altar?
Yeah, he's probably deeper in somewhere. Yeah, I saw him go through that snake mouth just a little while ago.
Can I position myself to kick him into the hole? Casually. Just as we circle and communicate with this guy.
Sure. I will let you sort of circle around here if you really want. And are you going to?
Not yet.
Okay. You turn.
I want it to feel safe. It'll be a better sacrifice.
Arnold just looks very apprehensive.
I assumed you had more you wanted to say. More questions you wanted to ask.
Oh, me? Oh.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Let me see, because we know that the guy is further in, the altar is further in too. I don't think he has that many questions that wouldn't make more suspicion. So he'll let you spar to this guy.
Okay.
Well, the thing about the real way you go about having free-range sacrifices is that the sacrifice needs to feel safe. It needs to feel like there's a future, so that when the end comes, it's a surprise! It's a bit of meat! And with that, I kick.
I thought you were gonna kick on surprise, really. No, that's perfect. You may give me a strength check. I will say, because it's a creative little usage of it. You're going to be at a 10 that you need to hit, rather than a 12.
Still a 9 because I have a -1. I feel great about this. I have no omens left.
Oh no!
Oh yes, 18.
There you go.
I love gambling.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, you kick him back into the pit here, and yeah, it is quite a significant drop. This isn't something that he can just sort of like climb out of super easily. You kick him back, and he goes ah, and you hear a thud at the bottom there.
Now I'd like to call down into the pit. Now, good sir, if you have any more good information for us, I'd suggest you give it to us now, because if you do, I happen to have a noose that I can that I could refashion into just some simple rope, and perhaps you could climb out. You don't have to die down there.
You traitor! I'm gonna strangle you when I get out of here.
Yes, but the good information first would be appreciated.
Are you looking down, either one of you?
Ardo is probably looking down to examine how the snakes react.
The snakes, they seem to not, like, there's a couple that sort of are licking at his legs, with their forked tongues, but they seem to be more afraid of him, really.
Well, Cynic, I'm gonna go with the high map hypothesis. I think the snakes will like you now because you're on the venom, because they're not biting him. So if we do fight a snake, you charge in head first.
You see, as below, he sort of takes out, like, from a sheath on his belt, a dagger, and he, like, sticks it into the wall, and begins to like haul himself up. And he grabs onto a rock and will take his dagger. So he's trying to climb out.
I really thought your kick would finish him. As he's saying this, he's like sheathing his short sword, and he is trying to pull out his bow and just try to.
Okay. This dude. Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of sitting here going, yes. Who knew that anyone out there other than Hawks could have more than one hit point? I thought for sure the fall would do perhaps a D6 as is standard in most systems, but he lives. So instead, I think the smartest thing I can do while you hopelessly shoot arrows into him would be to use my scroll of animal communication. I would like to persuade the snakes to climb up if they can, or grip at his legs, all that thing. So,
and then Deacon, you can roll out a presence check for the bow here. He did take some damage from falling, but the snakes aren't gonna harm him, at least on their own, just because he's not dead, essentially.
I see. They don't like any fight in their sacrifices.
Yeah.
Rolled a 12 and a 14, it's 11, so he'll miss.
Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, you know what? I'll give that to you. I'll say that retroactively, I'll say it's a 10 to hit him, just given that he's like not trying to dodge or anything. Like his defenses are down because he is just like crawling out of this pit.
He didn't take that feat. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't take the feat. He does not have a climbing speed. So,
well, I beat our 1 that we've been rolling, and I got a 2.
Okay, well there you go.
Instantly notches an arrow and lets it loose.
Perfect. He is still up. He had some armor that he was able to take some of that damage with, but you did get through to him. And you are trying to convince the snakes, Sigdig, to go and bite at him. Yes.
Yeah, I have the scroll called Bestial Speech.
Yes.
So it's a presence roll. I have to activate it. Is it?
Yep. You got to get a presence of 12 here.
No.
Lovely days.
And how much damage do I take? Because that does damage when you fail, right?
It does.
That's great. I didn't think this through.
Hey, you have fur armor. Okay. Well, I have some unfortunate news. We'll see how you roll on the armor roll here, because right now you have 2 that's coming at you.
Oof.
My armor says it's minus D2 damage, so I guess I'll just roll odds or evens on my...
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Evens! So...
Okay, perfect. So you feel dizzy. I'd say, narratively, I think it would be funny if you're like almost stumbling into the pit and you're like,
oh, that would be hilarious.
But you are still kicking. And yeah, this guy is climbing ever slowly, but you know.
Is there a rock perhaps I could throw at him nearby?
Sure. What were you gonna say there, Tegan?
Oh no, those rock first.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say that he climbs up a little bit more, and yeah, you can. For this one, we'll have you do.
Nope.
You could do a. What'd you roll?
4 isn't gonna do it.
Either way, yeah. No, you drop it, and it just like crushes one of the human skulls at the bottom of the pit there. Okay. Any ideas there, Tegan?
So yeah, he's going to actually. Do I have anything crazy in my inventory that would stop somebody climbing? Oh, so I got a grappling hook. That's not doing anything. No, he's gonna try to take another shot at him. I was thinking about dropping my lantern on him and see if that would make him burn, but I'll probably need a lantern later, so I don't want to get rid of that. So I'm just gonna take a shot.
Yeah, very fair, very fair.
Nice. Well, 15.
Okay, yeah, definitely will hit. And you can roll out that damage.
1.
Gosh. Okay. Yeah, his armor is tough enough that he'll take that. And he just will continue to climb here. Okay. He's getting, it's slow going here, but he is getting a little bit too close for comfort here. What are you folks gonna try and do next here?
Siddiq, I'll let you go first. What are you thinking there?
I want to throw another rock at him. I don't know how many things there are in the nearby area that I can throw at him.
This is a cavern. There are rocks aplenty that you can just.
Rocks aplenty.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps a burning stick. Rocks aplenty.
Uh-huh.
That was an 8.
You drop another one. That one squashes a snake.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really just relying on the bow. He's like, well, this will be a sure shot. I mean, that armor is very, very, very well made, but this one will put him down. We're about to get killed by this guy. I rolled an A. So like the arrow just completely whiffs it into the snake pit.
Lord,
I forgot. I have my hawk. My hawk
Yes,
can
you do.
fly
Oh my
down
goodness.
and swing at and just tear at this guy's back while he's trying to claw up.
Absolutely, go for it.
3.
Oh my gosh. I'll let you do one more because you forgot. Try one more.
There's a roll that's over 9. That's an 18.
Okay, perfect. And then a D4. Come on, big D4.
2.
Okay, let's see. How does your hawk take this guy out as he is perhaps feet away from you?
He begins pecking at the guy's ear.
Yeah, the dude's just like reaching
Just
for
like-
his ear.
just-
He's trying
just-
to grab on.
Just digging into the ear with his beak, and then trying to tear anything out he can get a haul on. So he's probably probably loses the ear, or at least part of it. And as he swats back with his hand to try and, swat the thing away, he loses grip and he falls again. And that's probably what takes him down.
Yeah, that will take him down for sure. And you see as the snakes below just begin to, once they're dead, that's the good stuff. Okay. And you are free of oncoming cultists yet again. Oh, and
Bad at this.
let me grab. Where is it? Oh gosh, I don't know where it went. Yeah. Well, the short of it is that you will get an advancement. Real quick, there you go. Getting better.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we can do that real quick because you've gone through a couple of combat encounters with just the two of you. There are a couple of things you have to do whenever you advance. First off, you roll 6d10, and if the result is greater to or equal than your current maximum HP, you increase it by a d6. For you all, since you have 1, I'm gonna guess that rolling 6d10 is gonna result in a number that is higher than 1. So you may each roll a d6 and increase your HP by that amount.
I'm just looking for new dice because I don't trust the ones I've been using.
What?
I've rolled. I'm averaging at about 3 failures for every success right now.
Right. I mean, hey, this is just how big that number is. So you're up to 2 there, Ardo.
It's twice as much. It's
True. 100% increase. That's great.
This
Oh, there's a
coffee is
D10.
slightly better.
You can, yeah, just a D6 is fine there.
Oh yeah, because we can't really get below 1, so we just give the
Yeah.
D6.
Oh, there we go. There's the D6 I'm looking for. Okay. A 5.
There you go. Okay,
Oh,
you're up
wow.
to 6 there, frontliner. Congratulations. Okay, and then a couple other things. You roll another D6, and this will be something that you find in the debris here.
I got a 3.
Okay.
2.
And okay, you find nothing, both of you. And finally, you roll a d6 against each ability. If you roll over the ability, you will increase it by 1. So, for instance, if you have a 1 in something and you roll a 2 for your d6, then you will increase it by 1, giving you a 2, and whatever that is.
Well, I have a -1 and zeros, so I imagine no matter what I roll, I'm going up by that amount.
Yeah, you get a 0, a 1, 1, 1 for your stats there.
Okie dokie then.
Nice.
And I don't remember if you had anything greater than a negative there, Ardo. Let's see.
Well, I've got the agility, which is, he's very agile for some reason, but
agility is
everything else was negative. So
Okay.
yeah, the strength and presence are now straight rolls.
Okay,
Not
perfect.
still -1.
And did you roll against agility as well?
Oh no, I didn't roll against. Oh, I forgot I can bump that one up. All right.
Yeah.
You're 1 positive.
Also, I got a 5, so I can. up to
Nice.
4.
So it goes up to 4, and that's at a maximum of +6 you can get in any of your increases there.
Nice.
And there you go. You've leveled up. Okay. And again, the room here there's the pit with the now dead body and the snakes and that mysterious stone block wedged in the side of it. Additionally, there is the snake mouth to the north, which is, of course, just a hidden door. There is the entrance to the bedroom, which is to your south. And then to the east is the captive's room that you were in there.
Did we check out the bedroom?
That was with all the sacks of people.
Oh, that one. Okay. Well, he did say before you kicked him down the hole that the chief, the head cultist, was through the wall or the snake's mouth, as you said.
Let us go in that direction then. Unless you have other things you'd like to do before we press on.
No, I feel we are on borrowed time. That man looked like he was seconds away from killing us, so that's all.
Minutes at best.
He was getting there, I'll tell you what. Okay. Sure. So you head north then. Oh, interesting. And you find yourselves in a garden of sort. There are luminescent flowers that grow from the ceiling here. There are strange ancient symbols that are carved into the walls as well. The ground, Ardo, you see, is covered in what seems to be mostly human skulls, which is fun. And for Sedig, you are looking at the symbols, which seem to be shifting. Perhaps there is more there. Additionally, there are sort of tunnels to the north and to the east here.
You don't see any snaky business, I guess. Northeast, or what do you think of this, Dick?
What do you think, Veronica? He says as he looks at the hawk. The hawk continues to look at him disapprovingly. And he says, to the north it is.
Okay. Then you will just continue on. Oh, wow.
Did you say
Another,
or go ahead.
did you have another direction you'd like to go? I'm all ears, really. I'm just enjoying the trip. It's the
Okay,
journey,
you see
not the
those little
destination.
symbols on the ground too.
Symbols, you say?
Yeah, there are symbols on the walls and skulls that are sort of make up the ground there. Mostly human.
That's quite friendly. What do they say?
You're looking at them?
Great enthusiasm.
Perfect. The shifting symbols, you sort of study them carefully for a moment. They suddenly change into a familiar alphabet and read, "The eternal avatar here guards, protecting both those above and below from famine, plague, war, death, and extinction."
I seem to recall a rumor that if we read these words backwards, a
At the
great
altar.
witch would arrive and grant us 3 wishes. It was only a rumor. I could be getting bits of it wrong.
Additionally, as you eke a little bit closer to the symbols there, there is a giant flower that sort of opens just across the way, and it reveals another path. That one is going to the south. I guess southeast. So there is the path to the north, the path to the east, and the path to the southeast. That is just open.
I have a good feeling about the southeast direction.
And again, Ardo, there is nothing. You see the symbols and stuff, but there is nothing as he's pointing or whatever.
Oh, Ardo can see the symbols
Literally,
too?
it's
Ardo
literally
can see the
blooming.
symbols, yeah,
Oh, okay.
but they are not shifting or anything like that.
Well, my friend, I've not heard of the rumor about the witch. Usually those who call themselves a witch are not always the most friendly, but if you think you can get a wish... I
3?
will-
Yes. Well, 2 for me, 1 for you. I did have the rumor, of course.
Oh, well,
Well, no, we have to share with Veronica. No.
well, that is most generous. So if you wish to read it and see what comes, let us find out.
See what the great venomous wisdom tells me when the time comes.
All right. So, going through the secret passage or the other ones?
Blooming flower to the southeast. That's where I want to go.
Okay. Just making sure. Alrighty. Yeah. So you continue through, and Ardo, you walk through a wall, and you see that sort of like the garden room that you have just been through, right, with all the bioluminescent flowers and such. This is similar, but there are sort of luminescent ferns that cover the ground and the walls. Yeah, you see that this this room here is very sort of naturally, very much naturally occurring, I should say. And then you see as well that it splits off. There's a pathway to the northeast and one to the southwest. The one to the southwest, you notice, has a distinct hissing sound. But yeah.
Well, should we check the room with the hissing first? Save it for last. I worry that the altar would most likely be where the serpents are, or at least the cult.
Highly likely, but I feel underprepared. I want to give this scroll of bestial speech another try. I'd like to be able to speak with anything that comes in there, so I'm going to roll for that.
I will also say, with your emerald venom vision here, you look around, Acetic, and just around this like fern room, right? You see that there are these dead ethereal snakes that are piled up along the east wall. It's odd. It's sort of just the whole span of the east wall, but like right off to one side, there is a point where it's piled specifically high. And of course, Ardo, you just see ferns.
That's not great. Ardo, there is a tower of dead ethereal snakes over there. That's not. I mean, it's thematic, but why all the death and destruction? It seems rather unkind for a snake-worshipping cult.
It does seem dangerous. They worship the snakes, the dead snakes here. Did they do this on purpose, or was this something else we should be afraid of?
Perhaps they have warring cult neighbors that are leaving dead ghostly snakes there as a warning, some kind of... Perhaps we stepped into some kind of Romeo and Juliet, Montague vs. Capulet kind of thing here. Warring mafia goons are upset. This is a warning. Anyway, I rolled a 19 on my scroll to speak with animals.
Okay.
So,
And remind me again, what animal are you speaking with?
I'm not speaking with anything right now. It just says you may speak with animals for D20 minutes.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
So
And you can roll a d20.
Yeah, I get the sense that we're about to run into something, and I want to be able to speak to it when we encounter it. 8.
Okay. Perfect. 8 minutes there. Are you doing anything about... This feels like an odd question to ask, but are you doing anything about the pile of dead snakes over here?
Well, you said it was ethereal, so I
Yes.
don't get the sense that I can do anything with it. It's
don't know.
ghostly. It doesn't look like something I can interact with. I just see it and go, like internally, Siddig's going, "What the fuck is up with this crazy ass shit?" Like, I don't. What? Look, I'm not exactly a magician here. I can't mage hand that ghostly stuff around. That's just I don't know what I could possibly do with ethereal dead snakes. I mean, okay, I guess I might poke it. Let's poke it. That feels like a terrible decision. Let's poke it.
Are you
see what
poking it
happens.
with like your short sword or whatever?
No, with my left arm's finger.
Oh
with
my gosh, the
pinky
left
finger.
arm.
Oh wow! All right.
You
The expendable arm.
you seem to feel like this arm is so expendable. Okay.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
not the pinky. The finger above the pinky, but between the middle finger. That's the most useless finger on your
ring
hand.
finger?
Oh, you ring finger?
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that.
Not planning on getting married anytime soon.
Just
this
someone gonna tie me
Yeah.
down with that finger. That's not good. That's not very free.
year. You sort of ring finger extended and just like poke in there. You feel your hand brush against these ferns, and then you hit something that is
Juicy.
metal.
I've touched metal. You know what? Caution to the wind. Let's examine this metal.
Are you just grabbing it, or like brushing the dead snakes out of the way?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Ardo, you watch as he brushes the sort of luminescent ferns out of the way, and reveals a trident
Oh,
that's hidden amongst the ferns.
The trident
these
called
writings
to
here.
me. It knows I'm here. It knows that only I am worthy to wield it. I shall lift this trident. And does this trident speak to me? Am I tripping that bad? Is it a
you're not.
stealthy trident?
You are not tripping that bad. It is just a typical trident. I would say it's slightly like blue, right? As if it's some sort of treated metal or something like that. But yeah, no, it doesn't do anything special to you. However, it does
Oh, goody.
deal a lot of damage, which we'll get into if you ever use it.
Okay, so I have to use it to find out what kind of damage it deals. Great. Okay.
No, let's do.
I like that you didn't say who it deals damage to. I can't wait for this to backfire. This is going to be fun. Let's do it.
Let's
Are
keep
you-
the trade rolling. You've got speak with animals. Let's go where the hissing sound is. You can have a conversation with a
absolutely.
snake. Let's go.
Absolutely. So
Hissing
I'll
sound.
start hissing towards that sound.
Okay. You head to the southwest here, and yeah, you see that this tunnel is pretty straight, but it does sort of slope down a little bit until finally you reach sort of like a tunnel, like the end of the tunnel, I suppose. There's like this stone end to it that then lets out into an illuminated, what looks to be some sort of pit. And you hear the hissing there. And as you sort of approach a little bit closer there, you see that you are at the bottom of the snake pit.
Okay, I had a feeling I might be headed in that direction.
Yes. And sure enough, there are the snakes, and there's the body. Right now, just the sort of the appendages and stuff are being got at, but he does have stuff on him still.
Hello, my beautiful creatures. God's one true appendage. Those who need not for more than an outer skin and face. Tell me, why did you not eat this man while he lived?
They turn to you and they say, "Oh, it is just in our nature. Oh, it is just in our nature. We do not eat that which lives."
That is wonderful to hear. May I examine the body, as I do not wish to be eaten?
But we want the meat. We want the meat.
Please keep the meat, but there are things like metal and rocks and sharp things that could only hurt you. If I examine it, it'll be much safer. You don't have to nick your beautiful scales on it.
Okay. And they'll let you get at it.
Yeah, and so what do I find on this corpse?
You find a gator skin hood and vestment, which is a medium armor, so it's minus a d4.
Great.
And you find a forked dagger, which I can only imagine looks like some sort of like cheese knife or something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And also, let us not forget the Mork Borg like core rulebook has at the very beginning like stuff that you find on a dead body. So we're gonna roll on that.
Nice.
5. Okay. You find a set of 20-sided dice, which are weighted.
I'm gonna need those. I'm rolling like crap.
They are weighted on 6. You see. As for why someone would do that, it remains to be seen.
Because they want to live. That's why you have weighted die.
At least we know he's a cheater. At least we know what he's cheating at, but he's cheating at something.
Okay. Anything else you're doing in here?
I'm gonna take these things and dress myself up in them, just to like try and in the event that the opportunity arises, I can try and pass myself off as this particular individual.
Sure. Okay.
I can try.
Well, there is no. Yeah. There's no other entrances or exits here other than trying to climb up or going to back from whence you came.
I think we'll have that.
Yeah. Do you want to take the serpentine dagger, or should I hold on to that to complete the ensemble? I don't know if it'd be any better than what you have.
Hey,
I'll let you complete the ensemble.
okay. And yeah, you got the trident as well. I see, huh?
Oh, one last thing I do before I leave. I'm going to look at the snakes and say, "Thank you for your patience. I appreciate your time. Before I go, would you prefer this meat salted or unsalted? As I do have salt on me."
Salt. Yes, we love how it reminds us.
I shall scatter salt over the now naked body
Yeah,
before I leave.
just begin eating them real good. So there you go.
The character sheet didn't tell me if it was iodized or not.
I would assume not. No.
Okay, so back the way we came. Now that I'm done with my BS.
From back from whence you came.
Perfect. And I forgot what were the other tunnels in the other room from where we came out of.
Yeah. So the only one that you have not explored is there's one to the northeast, but otherwise there's one that's like straight north, which is back to like the garden area with all the skulls. And yeah.
All right. Let's check out the one to the north then.
The one you've explored or the one you have not
Oh,
yet?
the one we haven't explored, yeah.
Cool. Sweet. You will go to that one. And okay. You go down this tunnel, and there is a more traditional false wall, and you're seeing like the back of it essentially. So you're able to just sort of like squeak it open, and you see that you are in a very odd room. There are dead roots that are just like covering the walls and ground and ceiling of this entire chamber, and sort of like smack dab into the in the middle of the room, there's a group of roots that is vaguely shaped like an altar, you would say.
Is there anybody else in the room along with the altar?
No, there's not. But looking around before you really get in there, you see that there are sort of loose bits of dead wood, vaguely resembling the bodies of humans, that are sort of spread throughout the room. Also, as you sort of step out here, you notice it is dead silent. Like, even as you speak to one another, the room seems to almost absorb sort of the echo that you would expect from being in these, this sort of cave here. Looking around, also, you see that there is there is a door to your east, and then a door to your west, and then a door to your northwest as well, or a passageway, not a door. As far as Sigurd goes, the altar looks to be surrounded by a golden glow. There are small budding leaves that are sort of spread out all around all of the roots. They don't look, dead to you, except for those loose bits of wood that resemble bodies. Those are dead and barren completely.
Well, this is the altar that we were looking for. I feel like we found what we've come for. So with your venom vision, I think maybe you should be the one to touch it.
Yes, only I can perceive the greatness that is here through my altered state and the higher plane of which I've reached.
Oh, of course.
I shall
of course.
step to the altar heedlessly.
Okay. As you get up there, you see with your special emerald venom vision that it reads in quotes, without cost, no wish comes true. Make a pledge unwilling, and reality bends for you. Then stay silent.
What do you think? Are you just saying silence?
I'm trying to choose my words carefully, which is hard. For me.
Uh,
Very hard for me. Is there like an inscription that asks to be read or anything like that?
you would, if you're talking about like the special words or whatever you had to say, I'm forgetting if they were specifically outlined here. Uh, do, 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 do. Yeah. Let's see. No. We'll say that they're just on a paper that you can read out. But yeah, there is a separate bit of just that altar that has that inscription on it. So again, it's without cost, no wish comes true. Make a pledge unwilling, and reality bends for you. Stay then silent.
I think that I would speak the magic words that are on the page I have, but I want to say them again backwards to summon the witch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like this is a scenario where we could use a guide. But beforehand, I look to my hawk and I say, Jessup, do you think I should say words? Looks at me disapprovingly. It may just be its face at this point. I should know by now. And so I will speak the words on this paper backwards and attempt to summon the witch.
Okay. Are you doing anything there, Ardo?
Maintaining a safe distance.
He watched this all go down. He definitely read the inscription. He's got some of his own thoughts what he may try to do for the sacrifice piece, but he's definitely seeing how it plays out with the witch, or with Cynic doing summoning things.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, as you read the words backwards there, nothing happens.
Those bastards at the bar lied to me.
What? Do you have a sacrifice you could make? I'm confused about. I'm not sure how the unwilling portion would make it, since you're the one making the sacrifice. But...
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I've got an idea. You are too fond of your left ring finger, correct?
No, I could do without it. There are many things I could do without.
You're sure?
Yes, if you'd like my wedded finger, you may take it. Only bad memories now. Remind me of Gertrude.
Well, if Cynic doesn't resist, Arno is going to try to forcibly take his finger, an unwilling sacrifice. And then what would he wish for? He would wish for both of their. I know. He's going to be a little selfish. He's going to wish for the apocalypse to be pushed back further, because that was one of the wishes that they said could be granted. So he's going to say, I wish for the apocalypse to be delayed as long as it can. As he takes off poor Cynic's finger and pushes it in the altar, and he stays completely silent and holds up the fingers to his lips to Cynic, with probably quite in decent pain, but hopefully.
I don't know what kind of pain I'm experiencing while I'm tripping right now.
That's true. I mean, that's up to you. But you watch as the finger that is sort of laid out on the altar now turns into that same dead wood. But again, nothing happens.
So Ardo kind of waits for a while, like very quiet. He looks around, and so the finger turned to dead wood. He takes a look at one of the other pieces of dead wood. Is there anything that kind of stands out with that, or does it just kind of look like wood in shape of like body parts or humans?
It is clear that these are those loose pieces of dead wood are all fully intact human bodies. These are, and as you're sort of looking at them as well, there's no marks from carving or anything. This just looks like this is how it grew,
Like a transmutation.
Whole bodies.
And it has to be a willing participant, so we can't just go grab and jerk off and kill him.
It's unwilling.
Yes, as you look back down to the altar, it says, "Make a pledge unwilling, and reality bends for you."
Oh, and I did ask. I should have just took the finger. It was unwilling. I should have did.
Okay. Make a pledge unwilling. Okay. Well, let's see if we can lure someone in here and kill him.
Okay, where are you going? You don't have to go room by room here.
Because there's a room.
You want to have a duel, which I feel like I'm in a good position to. You've got that scroll, but I've got armor and a super weapon. So
you want to
add a lot more health after that level up. A lot more.
Yeah. But I'm rolling really badly. So are you.
Because there's a room that's like deeper in, like into the facility. You said, right, or a door.
Yeah. So there's that one pathway to the northwest that is deeper in. Of course, you recall that there is the bedroom as well. Certainly, there is a what's it called? You could always try and catch up to your pals that you sent off. It's up to you.
Well, do you want to find one of the ones that are tripping on venom, which could be fairly easy, or do you want to do a bit of good and rid the cult leader, which could be deadly, but either way, that could potentially get us someone.
It seems like such a long walk to get to one of those high guys, and they're so blazed. It's impossible to say what they'd be willing or non-willing. Let's take down a cult leader, and maybe when we're done with him, this can be our cult.
Okay. So which way are you going?
Northwest.
Okay. So you will continue northwest. At this point, you're sort of at a crossroads. So there is a room that looks to be some sort of tomb that is directly to your west, and then to your northeast, there is another sort of stretch of hallway. You're at like a corner, essentially. So, I suppose going to the tomb or looking further down the hallway.
Maybe we can find a grieving widow in the tomb.
I'm sure you'll find something like that.
It's not impossible, I guess. But I do think we should proceed to the tomb if you want to become new leader here.
Yes, the tomb. The tomb can only be a good decision, and so we shall go that direction.
There, as you sort of walk into the tomb proper here, you see that there is sort of just this cloud of moths that seem to fill the room, but are on closer inspection just circling a ring of 13 obelisks carved with endless spiraling snakes, surrounding in turn a lidless and empty sarcophagus. As you're sort of looking at this sarcophagus and all these moths and these obelisks, you see out of the moths floats a figure about 2 feet off the ground. There is this sort of figure dressed in a green robe. Instead of skin, she's covered in multicolored scales, and where her head should be, there is just black smoke and 2 bright diamond eyes. On her back is a great sword longer than she is, and she floats 2 feet above the ground. And as you enter here, she says telepathically, "Who disturbs my slumber?"
How could you possibly be sleeping? You don't have a head! You just have floating eyes and black smoke. You're like a pit of fire. You don't sleep. You're perpetually smoldering is the least active thing you can do.
She just looks at you and looks at Ardo, hoping that he'll have a little bit more sense about him.
Ardo, guys, apologies. The venom is very, very strong. We came not to disturb you. We came to learn, and hopefully you can share some of your knowledge with us. We saw the altar, but it is not working as expected for us.
Yes, you must sacrifice an unwilling human.
So it needs to be a full human.
Yes.
It's like, I apologize for your finger. That was a hypothesis.
It's smart.
What do you do here? What is your purpose here, if you don't mind me asking?
I am the Swamp Witch. You summoned me.
Oh.
Awesome! It did work! Yes, that is fantastic! Great! Great! Swamp Witch, I have 3 wishes. I don't know what they are, but I know I have 3 wishes.
It is no matter. You must sacrifice an unwilling human to receive your wish.
About that, is there one nearby? Not the 2 of us.
The cultists.
So take a left.
She gives you detailed directions.
Oh,
Back to the bedroom. You're going to want to hang a left, and then you'll go down for about half a block.
What? So now, will you grant this wish, or does the altar grant a wish? Or how does that all work?
The altar grants the wish.
Well, fair. All right. Well, we'll come back with a human. That's unwilling. And you'll still be here, right?
Indeed.
Well, Sadiq, do you want to keep pressing on looking for the cult leader, or do you wish to go back and see if we can find one of those sleeping off the venom?
I
Barely alive.
kind of want to kill the cult leader. That's just what I want. We don't have to do that, but it would please me. I feel like the cult leader would be like a free range sacrifice.
Perhaps a better quality. Perhaps we'd get a better future if we were to sacrifice the cult leader.
Well, kind of looks over to the swamp witch, and he goes,
The other reasonable person in the room.
because he seems just to say, well, I guess it couldn't hurt, so let's go find them.
She gives you detailed directions. No, it's easy
Follow
enough.
The letter.
It is certainly easy enough for you to get back. You are now back at the sort of common hall and facing the bed chamber that you had found before with the gators hanging around, and that is where she directed you. Apparently, in your sort of running around, he has managed to circle back. So that's fun. And yeah.
Did she happen to know if there were any weaknesses of this cult leader that we could exploit? Is that information
Think to ask? You did not think to ask, I'm afraid. Being stabbed.
I think that when we find this man, women can be cult leaders too. I have a noose that we can tie around his head and his hands and bring him back. Especially if he's sleeping.
Why? That would be nice. Yeah, we'll tie him up. If we have to fight him, we'll leave him on death's door, then drag him back. Sacrifice, and we get our wish. Let's go find the bastard first.
Yeah. So you head through back into his room, assumably, and sure enough, there is a dude. He is in far fancier sort of green robes with these necklaces made out of bones and teeth. He's got two of them that sort of wrap around him. And this wild like headdress which bears this serpent iconography like right on the front of it. And he turns around and says, and just who might you be? New worshippers?
In a sense, but not the sense you're hoping for. We've come to collect you. It's sacrifice day, and you won't be sacrificing to the gods or the creatures you usually sacrifice to, but a sacrifice is due, and today it's you.
You see as he sort of draws from the wall next to him this long, jagged spear and points it at you and says, then so be it. And we'll rush towards you.
Stick.
I am the captain now.
Okay. Tegan, why don't you roll a d6 here? You're hoping for high numbers.
It's been my trouble all day.
Yep.
Another one.
Okay, he's going first. Perfect. So we haven't gotten to do this yet, or at least this end of it. But in Mork Borg and other Borg hacks, as they're called, generally NPCs don't roll during combat unless it's for some specific skill check. So instead, as he lunges forward with his jagged spear towards you there, Ardo, you will have to give me an agility check to try and dodge out of the way.
14.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, sure enough, you dodge out of the way as the spear just sort of juts the air. It seems to almost slice through it as though it were your flesh, though thankfully it is not. And it is your turns, all three of yours, if we're including the bird.
Let's not forget the donkey. Was the donkey able to get up here? I want to say we had to climb up something. I don't know.
I've seen some very small donkeys.
Okay.
Yeah, he's hanging out. I'm not sure if it's a. I don't know if there is a war donkey, but I don't know if it's really funny.
I'm just imagining, at the very least, you can draw your bow and hide behind the donkey for cover.
I thought about that, but unfortunately, he has his shield and sword out. Because if he takes a hit, he needs the shield out. So unfortunately, he has to have that. So he's up in the mix with you with the shield sword.
Okie dokie.
So, yeah, who amongst you is gonna attack first here?
Well, he charged you first, Tegan. Take him down.
He's going to risk it again. You see, he kind of grabs the scroll, starts chanting, hoping the snakes will do in their own worshiper. So he's going to try to cast that slithering strangle.
Okay, perfect. So give me a presence.
Oh, I've got an omen. I'm burning omen. I got a 4, so I'm burning my omen.
Yes, certainly you may burn an omen.
17.
There we go. That will certainly do it. So no repercussions. You are able to get off the roll here. Let me double check that. So it's a D4 colored rainbow colored ethereal boa constrictors emerge from the ground and capture one creature each for D8 rounds. Okay.
Sweet.
So
I got two boas.
Okay, perfect. So they're just gonna go for him here, and if you want to roll that, the D8 rounds and the damage there.
So 2 from the first one, 1 on the second one. What was the other one? What other thing you said?
It was just
D8 rounds. Yeah.
D8 rounds, yeah. Okay.
6 rounds. Nice.
Okay, perfect. Let me grab. Okay, cool. And yeah, very nice. Okay, so then the other two here, what do you got? By other two, I mean Bird and Secret.
So I'm just double checking the scroll to remind myself that attacking a constricted creature in melee comes with a risk of changing the target to the attacker. So I don't want to incur that.
It's only a 50% chance.
Yeah, I don't want to incur that. So I'm gonna start by holding onto my. I'm gonna keep my trident in my useless left hand just to keep it ready, and I want to try and throw rock. Actually, I'm gonna throw my. So I'm gonna throw my snake dagger at this thing.
There
first.
you go. Okay, you can give me a presence roll here.
A presence roll. Okay.
Should have a +1 there, I think.
Yes, that's a natural 16 for 17.
Okay, perfect. And then you can do a D4 there.
Okay. 4. Nice. I am glad I
Very
changed
good.
dice because that totally changes things.
There's some armor. So he's gonna go down a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, he is still hanging on here, despite the damage that you all have dealt. He seems pretty angry as well. Is your bird gonna go?
No, I care about my bird. I care about it more than I care about myself. I'm not putting the bird in danger. Let's throw the donkey in there first. Before we throw the bird in there.
Fine, then we're back up to him then. Yeah, so he is still captured by these guys here. How many rounds was that again? There,
D6. Sorry, it was a 6.
Oh,
so 5 more rounds. Yeah.
5 more rounds. He's just hanging out, and he will get that both of those D2 damage there as well.
So 3 or 1 from the first one, then 2 from the second one, 3 total.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, he's looking not great even with his armor. Yeah, even with his armor here. And it is back to you all. If you want to.
You want to shoot some arrows at him? You gotta keep your shield up.
He's because with him being constricted, so it looks like he can't attack us right now.
Yeah, he is like flailing around. He is not able to to do much.
Yeah, so he's gonna. Can I drop weapons? Let's take a weapon out with this. I can't remember if I can do that or not.
Yeah, you're fine. You can switch out. It's fine.
Yeah, so he's gonna drop his shield and spear or shield and sword, and then he's gonna take a step back and start just shooting arrows at the guy.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
12.
That'll hit.
An actual damage, 5 damage.
Okay, very
Nice.
okay. Very good. He is he's getting down there. Probably a couple more hits and he will be a goner. Okay. So Sigrid.
I
Man,
am.
you got that Trident, man. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be something crazy. I know it's a 50% chance, but like crazy Trident.
Does it look like? I can't ask you if it looks like a killing blow or how bloody this guy looks. That's ridiculously metagaming.
I mean, with that trident, you know, I don't know. It's calling to you.
I'm gonna say it's canon. The trident is speaking to me. I am tripping. I look at the trident in my hand and says, "I exist to be thrown into the heart of my enemies." And so, not listening to the trident, not throwing it, I'm gonna take it in both hands and charge into this thing, trying to get all 3 prongs into it. And yep.
Okay.
So
then-
attack roll.
Yep, that's with your strength there.
Nope.
Oh no!
I just charged right past this guy.
Oh, no one has
can't give
another.
my omen.
Hey, you can re-roll anyone's dice, but it's up
Oh,
to
I
you.
can? Oh yeah, reroll that, man.
Yeah, with omens you can re-roll any
Nope.
die. Oh no!
Oh.
That was a good
Gonna
shot.
waste another one.
That was my last one.
I think he's out. Yeah.
I feel good about that.
Well, you give it your best shot, but now he's.
I rolled a 4 and a 6. That was far from my best shot. That was I didn't even. I studied for the test half an hour before it showed up. That's what kind of try I gave it.
maybe.
C student try right there.
Anything else that y'all want to do, or otherwise we'll go to this.
Is Hockey doing anything, or are we going in?
No, I don't. I'm not risking the hawk.
Doesn't want the hawk to die.
Fair enough.
He's my best friend.
Okay.
I don't even know its name, but it's my best friend.
Then this dude is going to whip the spear around and he's gonna try and go for you, Sigrid. So you can give me an agility.
12.
Nice. Okay, just on the dot, you're able to scoot out of the way as he swings it at you. You see as again those like the jagged edges of the spear just sort of rip through the air. And yeah, it is back to you all.
Swinging the snake damage.
Oh yeah, snake damage.
So 2 damage altogether.
Wait, roll this. Okay.
I am
Yeah,
actively shaking the die of the spear or of the trident.
Yeah, hit
Wait.
that trident. You gotta get that one. Go for this first.
17.
Let's go. Okay. Now I need you to roll me a d10.
I have a D10 out. I don't
And
know
a
why, but I
D4.
do. I have that out as well. Kind of disappointing. That's a 7.
Just a 7, and in this game where you had only 1 HP for getting out of it.
I'm still again.
The world has changed so drastically since an hour ago.
Isn't that just the way? The D10 is just the regular damage from the trident. The D4 that I had you roll is what they called pandemonium damage.
Oh, that was just the one.
Okay, so it's just a 1. But either way, it's just another this trident, and with the odd eldritch magics that are sort of surrounding this place have sort of warped it and give it this sort of magical effect. And so as you sort of just plunge it right into this dude, he falls to the ground. He is dead/dying.
No! Quickly,
gotta
bandage
drag
the
him
wounds.
Yeah, certainly it's good enough that you can drag him over there. I was letting him go.
I throw the noose around his neck and I start dragging him.
All right. I honestly, this guy. So if anyone was keeping count at home, this guy had 20 HP and medium armor. So I was rolling real bad trying to trying to get a hit off. Yeah, I know.
But his spirit bite did some hard damage.
Yeah, the trident did hard damage, and then the slithering strangulation. I just
Oh no, I bet that guy's spear. If we got
at
least my guy, if he got hit, would have been dead. But not sure how bad it would affect.
His spear was a D8 plus a bleed effect, which would have been pretty bad. Yeah. Okay, so you drag him on through, and you get to the altar with little hassle. So yeah, who's going up there?
I took your finger last time, so I feel this is your turn to
Dragging
sacrifice
this,
and make the wish.
dragging this guy to the altar, and heaving his corpse onto it, or not his corpse, but his near-to-be corpse onto it.
Yeah.
I decree, take this life and bring me to a place of peace and hope and joy. I wish not to exist on this plane, but in the next.
So you're just dying? Is that your wish?
My wish isn't just to die. It's that I'm literally asking the deity in front of me to send me if I absolutely will die, but not just die, but to go to a place that isn't fucking horrifying. So I'm basically saying, there's a heaven, take me there now.
Arno is just scrunching his eyes up, right? He's just
Okay.
Well, because think about the world we live in. There is no hope. I don't know that there's any. As far, I'm guessing the gates are closed.
I think Ardo is would also just be bro, you couldn't have said us. You couldn't have said us. Bro,
I don't want to speak for him. I want to speak for him. That wouldn't be right. That wouldn't be right. Let him speak for himself. I believe in equality. I want to let people speak for themselves. I don't want to be talking out of hand.
Lord have mercy. You see Ardo as the body of the cult leader just begins to writhe on the altar, and you can almost see his soul just being stripped from his body and dissipating into the roots here. And simultaneously, you see as your compatriot all but disintegrates before your eyes, sort of just into this pile of ashes. But he left all of his stuff.
It was some good stuff. There's a scroll in there you're gonna want.
He looks at the scroll, but probably the first thing he looks at, he sees Hawkeye, and look at the Hawk reaction.
Hockey.
I really should have spoken for Hawkeye.
Yeah. The hawk nods approvingly.
He
That's
gathers
fine.
up the
Animals don't have
gear,
hills.
and it's just pretty like he's just grumbling to himself at this point. He's like, "Well, couldn't wish for us. Probably dead, so probably better. But could have wished for world, or at least diverted the apocalypse for a while. But we survived." And he kind of just gathers his stuff, throws it on the donkey. Is that witch still there? He made a check on the witch.
Yep, she's still there hanging out.
I don't even know what I'd ask the witch. He's just gonna say to the witch, Cynic is either dead or went to a better place, the one who summoned you. Is there anything else you need, or I don't know what happens to you after you've been summoned?
She says, I will dissipate with time. You should go now. But for your aid, in one of the skulls in the garden room, there's some gems. Perhaps I will make this worth your while.
That'll help. Well, I don't know if I ever learned your full name, but thank you, Swamp Witch.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
With that, he'll kind of gather up. I don't know what Hawkeye does, but if Hawkeye does come along with, he'll take that along with the donkey, break open the skull for some of the gems, and then try to walk out and kind of see if the Emerald Serpent says anything to him. But if not, he's just gonna like straight beeline it out back to the road.
Yeah. As you pass by like the altar, you see that it is sort of just cracked, and the body that was on the altar is now just dead wood, as it is. You are able to pass through the rest of the layer here, the sepulchre. I can't say it. Sepulchre. Yeah. You're able to pass through the rest of it without being harassed by any of the cultists, given that most of them are, high out of emerald venom. As you make your way out, you see that the leaf that the Emerald Serpent was on is still there, but she is nowhere to be seen.
He'll nod at that, kind of count his gems, and just kind of start walking.
Yeah, gems, for anyone wondering, are worth 750 silver pieces, because they don't.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which is a lot.
He's actually in a good mood now. He's got like a little smile trying to form.
Not all bad. You don't have to share the loot.
Yeah, right. Lord, and there you go. That'll be the end of your adventure here. The real end for for your companion, and for you, it might buy you some nice things to furnish the end of the world coming.
He's gonna buy at least a decent bit of booze with his newfound wealth, and he'll pour one out for Sadiq, hoping that he actually did get to go to a better place.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks, Moth. For anybody that's not into, put Borg into the chat, so we'll get you into the running. We've got 9 people in so far, so a good chance to be able to win a free PDF copy of Mork Borg. I'm also going to figure out where I saved that, because Moth, you do start playing as well, so I'm going to throw the start playing link in. This is the second time I've played Mork Borg with Moth, and both times have been a lot of fun. So definitely, if you do want to play some Mork Borg, what else do you run? Do you
all sorts of stuff? I run 5e. I run the Mork Borg hack Cyborg, which is very fun. I'll run an occasional Cyberpunk Red game as well. All sorts of stuff, and I have a full list on my profile that you can sort of request from a specific system I have experience running.
When we finally get around to Cyberpunk, you'll have to come back for that one as the GM too.
You know it. I love it.
Sweet. So, sweet. I get Wonder Bread. You got in just in time. Let me throw you in. Unfortunately, my Nightbot is like tweaking out, so I've got to do like this little bit manual with the spin the wheel thing. So let's see how this goes. Right. Wonder Bread, you got in at just the right time and won. So, shout outs to you there. Message me either through my Gmail at teganjgaming@gmail.com or Discord, same thing, Tegan Gaming. Discord, I forgot what the thing is for that. But yeah, hit me up with your email address, and then I will shoot you a free PDF copy of the Mork Borg system. And then you get to have some fun adventures of your own. And then too, for next month, I forgot to bring the book over, but sticking kind of with like the similar theme. Not OSR though. We're going with Shadows of the Demon Lord. So I've wanted to play that one, and it's one of the ones I've heard is a fun alternative for a fantasy like D&D style game. I've been interested to try it out, even though the new one's out or about to be out. So we'll check that out. There'll be more videos coming up soon. But before we wrap, Moth, Shy, do you guys have any thoughts on Mork Borg before we wrap up for today?
Yeah, I'd just say, I love the simplicity of the various Borg hacks, but Mork Borg will always be have a special place in my heart. Yeah, there were a number of times where you you all edged very, very close to death, which was fun. But it's just part of the fun of the Borgs, and yeah, I encourage people to pick them up. They're very accessible. So yeah.
That's one of the things I love with like kind of the simplicity. It's one of those ones like you can like build your character so quickly, easy to teach new people the rules for it. It's just one of those ones you can just pick up and play pretty easy.
Absolutely.
Shy, any thoughts before we wrap?
I like it. Good.
Excellent.
You roll dice.
Shy's
Things
thoughts.
happen. You would recommend.
A glowing review.
Perfect. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. Shout out to Wonder Bread. Make sure to either email or message me. We'll get that over to you. Stay tuned for more videos. Like, subscribe. Also, probably sometime this week or next week. Actually, Moth and I are both going to Gen Con, so expect some Gen Con content. I'm hoping to get like a video up Wednesday before I leave, but I've slammed, so we'll hold me to that. But definitely Monday when I get back, I'll have a review video up. Got to talk about some cool things we saw out there, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. Till next time.